Recently, I had an experience that brought up a lot of shame and guilt within me, which I think is a beautiful thing, because then I can more deeply step into truth, integrity, honor, respect, unity. So I'm not mad about getting triggered. I think getting triggered is a beautiful thing. Now, I haven't always handled being triggered well. I don't think most of us have, it's something that we're practicing and learning. But I do love when I get triggered, even if not in the moment. And I just sat with it and I just gained some beautiful wisdom and insight from that experience that I'd love to share. And I would like to start off just by saying anything I share on my page is wisdom that I've extracted directly from my own human experience. And I think that's how it should be. I think we should speak from our raw human experiences mixed with a little bit of curiosity and openness and excitement and expansion. And so I just want to be very clear that I'm not saying that this is the only way, that this is the truth, this is the path you have to follow. If you don't believe that I'm right, then you're wrong. No. I am sharing from my heart, from the pureness of my soul, because I have gone through painful shit in my life and I want to help share the wisdom that I've extracted from that pain with others who may be going through the same pain. And especially this video I shared yesterday about sexuality, this video was a very raw, open video for me to record. And I did it because I want to help people who were in the same kind of pain that I was in, because it hurt. And if I could help anybody else in any type of way with the same thing that I experienced and what I felt in my body and how I moved through it and how I found empowerment, then I'm going to do that. And I want to say towards the end, when I was talking about Tantra, I was very clear, like, I don't really have anything. I don't really know. This is my perspective of what it is, but I don't really know. Yeah, and just asking for guidance or wisdom in the comments. Now, if you don't want to give me guidance or wisdom, that's fine. You don't have to. But I was just being open and curious and looking to explore different perspectives of it, you know? And I think when we shame people for curiosity, when we shame people for having a different perspective than you, or make people feel like they're wrong for not knowing what you know, make people feel like they're wrong for not having the same knowledge as you, that this can be very detrimental to the spiritual evolution of humanity. Because the truth is, we're not merging into oneness and going home until we all merge into oneness and go home. That's what oneness is everyone. Everyone, we are all in it together because we are on earth. We are all on earth. If you are on earth, you have not ascended yet. You don't know more than the next person. I don't know more than you. We are simply just learning and expressing ourselves through this very real, tangible, raw human experience. And every single human being has the right to express from their experience, and then also kind of leave open-ended questions of curiosity for things that they're not really sure about yet, especially if it kind of comes up naturally in the flow of the conversation. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, and there's nothing wrong with being curious about things that you are unaware of. And sometimes I think that spiritual knowledge can be used as a tool for manipulation and for the other person to feel like they're better than you. Almost like a hierarchy, but there is no hierarchy in spirituality. One person is not more spiritual or better than the next person. Now, what does play into this is respect from both sides, honoring and respecting different cultures and religions and perspectives and ancient wisdom and ancient knowledge. But I don't think asking curious questions or sharing, like, this is kind of what I've gathered about it, but I don't really know. Can you put down below what you think? I don't think there's anything inherently shameful or wrong about doing that. And I think when we start to squash people's curiosity, or when we make people feel ashamed or embarrassed for speaking about their perspective of something that they're not sure about, especially if they're coming from a place of curiosity, of wanting to be the student, that we're kind of going against the purpose of what we're here for. We're all in this together. There's no this side and that side. There's no that's the Eastern and this is the Western. This is North America. This is South America. You're from Europe and you're from America. You're from Canada and you're from Mexico. You're from Germany and you're from Russia. Like, get over yourself. And I say that with the deepest respect, because I do understand that there are different cultures and there are different ancient practices that do deserve respect and honor, and that there's a way to go about using practices where you're not like in this realm of cultural appropriation, but you're stepping into this like true raw curiosity as a human, from one human being to another human being. You're curious, you want to expand and step deeper into alignment and truth, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm tired of this narrative talking about, oh, Western people are always talking about saying stupid things and talking about stuff they don't understand. And yeah, sure, there are some people who are arrogant and in their ego and want to pretend like they have all the answers. But there are people like that everywhere, no matter if you're Eastern or Western or Northern or Southern. Like, it literally doesn't matter where you come from on the earth. There are people with inflated egos everywhere, and there are grounded, curious, authentic people everywhere as well. So when we use this labeling of, oh, they're Eastern and they're Western, this person is from Boston and that person is from New York, we are driving a wedge straight through humanity and saying that one is better than the other. One has it right, one has it wrong. You still have so far to go, and I have it all figured out. We're all in this together. If your neighbor still has far to go, then you also have that far to go as well. That's what unity is. We're all coming into unity, into oneness. You can't come into oneness, into unity with all that is, if you don't have all that is with you. So rather than belittling and shaming and putting people down for not knowing something, I think that it would be a better approach to either not say anything at all, because you don't owe me anything, so you don't even have to respond. So I'm not saying that you even have to educate me. If you don't want to, then don't. I don't care. I'm just putting a request out there in case someone did want to have communication, in case someone did want to, share something with me. But these narratives and this, like, what even is the spiritual community? All of humanity is spiritual. We are all spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. Some people are living through the lens of their ego, and some people are really practicing and learning how to live through the lens of the divine. But we're all here ultimately for the same purpose. We all want to go home, even if we aren't consciously aware that that's why we're here. Newsflash, that's why we're all here. Every single one of us wants to go home. And we have to go home together. And this wedge that is being placed within humanity with all of this speak of separation and divide, and I know more than you, my culture is better than your culture, you're stupid, your culture's stupid, y'all don't know anything. Like, come on. Aren't we exhausted yet? Aren't we tired yet of fighting with each other? Aren't we tired yet of arguing and trying to inflate our own egos by making someone else feel like they're not as knowledgeable as you, or making someone else feel like they don't have it figured out but you? Like, aren't we tired? And I'm speaking to myself too, because I'm not free from this little rant I'm going on. I'm included. That's the point. Aren't we tired of viewing the world as separate from us? Isn't it exhausting? Aren't we bored of it? Like, literally, aren't we bored? Aren't we exhausted? Aren't we just ready to freaking go home? But that's the thing, is that we y'all are getting my like fiery y'all are getting my fire today. And that's okay. This is a part of me at this moment in my life, is my fire. And I like my fire. I like my passion. I like my sass. I like that I'm willing to speak on things that other people may not agree with me on. I like that I'm willing to ask questions when I don't know, even if it's like a topic, whatever. I just like that I'm curious, and I like that I'm fiery, and I like that I'm passionate, and I like that I love humanity so much, and I like that I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm willing to apologize, and I'm willing to humble myself every single day. Life is all about learning how to humble ourselves, really. Like, just humbling ourselves to the experience. If you are on earth and you are not absolutely humbled by your life every single day, I don't know what to tell you. Because that is where we start dying. I don't know who said this to me, but it's like when fruit is green, it's growing. When fruit is ripe, it's dying. Like, maybe my husband said this to me, or maybe one of y'all said this to me, I don't know. But it's like when fruit is still on the vine and it's green and it's not ripe yet, it's growing and it's expanding. It still has more to gain and learn. Once it's hit its peak and it's ripened, it's dying. Now it's going down, and it's literally it's decaying at that point. So are you in a state of ripening or decaying? Ripening is being curious. Ripening is being humble. Ripening is learning to admit when you're wrong. Ripening is learning how to apologize. Ripening is learning how to look humanity in the eye and see that they are you. Decaying, dying, means you think you have it all figured out. You think you know what's best. You think it's your way or the highway. You think you don't need to learn anything else. You have all the knowledge and you're going to hoard it all. You're going to keep it all to yourself because it makes you feel special and important. And it makes you feel like, oh, this is just like Christianity. I'm going to heaven and you're going to hell. And I'm keeping all of my information with me because it's going to get me through the gates of heaven, because the seats in heaven are limited and not everybody can go. This is still coming from separation and lack. Sharing wisdom, sharing insights, sharing spiritual knowledge is abundant. It's prosperous. It's expansive. When you share your experiences, when you share what you've gained with others, you're expanding because they expand and we are one. And so when others expand, you expand. When you expand, they expand. And when you can even perceive somebody who's stuck in ego, or when you can perceive somebody who's speaking about things that they know nothing about, when you can perceive somebody else who is sick or somebody who is dying, when you can perceive somebody who gets hit by a car, that's coming from within you. That's a mirror reflection of your own consciousness. When you think that you have it all together and you're all blissed out and one with God, and everyone else is in their ego and they don't know, they're still idiots. They don't get it like how I get it. They are reflecting to you your own shadow that you are refusing to look at. And because you are refusing to look at it, you are the decaying fruit that has fallen off the tree. When you bravely and courageously face everything as if it is your own, you are in a constant state of ripening. You are in a constant state of expansion. Expansion is not comfortable. Expansion doesn't feel like bliss and peace and oneness all the time. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in the third dimensional world. We are in the fallen world. We are currently living as a part of the fallen world. So you can pretend like you have it all figured out and that you're living in a constant state of bliss all the time, but that just would be a lie. You would be lying to yourself. Because if you can still perceive darkness, if you can still perceive other people and their egos, if you can still perceive separation, if you can still perceive, I can still perceive this thing as being separate from me. This bag is separate from me. That's because I'm in the fallen world. We are in separation. This thing can be separate from me and then I can hit it. That doesn't make sense in oneness. So if you're still experiencing separation, it's because you still got work to do. You still got a shadow to look at, and it's inside of you. It's not out there. It's not at the person at YouTube who made you mad. It's not at your neighbor who lets their dog poop in your yard every day. It's not at the car that drove by you and flipped you off. That is all coming from inside of you. And the way to deal with it is to go so deeply within the energy that arises when these external occurrences happen and sit with the discomfort. To face what comes up for you in that moment. And it's so hard. It's so hard to do. It's so hard to do. To not react externally and to instead sit with that fire that is coming up from within you. But that is being in a state of expansion. When you can go within and sit in the discomfort, you are in a state of expansion. When you react externally, you flip the other person off back or whatever, you are in a state of decay. You think you have it all figured out and you need to flip them off because now you're triggered and mad too. There is also a time to go back out into the world and place firm boundaries. I'm not saying to like just be a hermit on the inside, but you should always go inside first. And then once you go inside, then you can come out more clear-minded with more clarity on how to respond rather than react. You'll come out with more clarity of knowing how to respond from a place of unity rather than from a place of separation. Respond from a place of truth instead of from a place of distortion. But the only way you can respond from unity and truth is if you go inside first, if you take full responsibility for everything first, and then come out into the world and respond. Whew. Man, I got fired up in that video. Okay. Thank you if you stayed this far to listen to my little rant. It's an honor to be doing this work with you because it's uncomfortable. It's humbling to be doing this work with you guys because I get triggered by y'all sometimes. But that's great. I love when I get triggered. And so I appreciate when y'all trigger me, and it's not your fault. This isn't a video to like lash out and be mad. This is like, I don't know what it was, but it was fun to record and it felt empowering. And I just wanted to end it by saying thank you, because I wouldn't have found this fire. I wouldn't have found this expression in me today without the trigger. Our triggers are beautiful. It's just, can we go inside first and then respond externally from a deeper understanding of truth and clarity, which I don't do that all the time. Sometimes I react to my triggers because I'm human. I'm learning. We're all learning. And I'm proud of us all, because we're heading home, baby. We're headed home. Bye.